Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased that you have joined us in celebrating the 2018 class of J.F. Drake State Community and Technical College. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. When we decided to look upon who would be our guest speaker, it was really a no-brainer. In my year of being at J.F. Drake State, the first thing that we tried to do was to go back to our roots. And we will ever be connected to Alabama A&M University. It is because of their gracious gift to us in 1961 that our existence became. The name that we have, J.F. Drake State, is because of Dr. Joseph Fanning Drake, who was the longest tenured president at Alabama A&M of 35 years. And so again, when we started talking about who should be our graduation speaker, it was again no-brainer. Dr. Andrew Hugine Jr. is the 11th president of Alabama A&M University. He earned the bachelor's and master's degree in mathematics from South Carolina State University and the doctorate in higher education institutional research from Michigan State University. He has presented at numerous professional meetings on strategies for increasing the number of minorities in the STEM disciplines and is the author of 3 mathematics textbooks. Prior to his appointment to Alabama A&M University, he served as president of South Carolina State University. Other positions held included interim executive president and chief operating officer, assistant vice president for academic affairs, director of special services program, director of University Year for Action program, a service learning program, research fellow, assistant and director of institutional self-study, professor of mathematics, and high school mathematics teacher. Dr. Hugine has been recognized both nationally and internationally for its leadership in education and its adept administrative skills. Since his appointment at Alabama A&M, the university's accreditation with SACS COD has been reaffirmed. The financial status of the university has been strengthened. The university signed a $96 million financing agreement with the U.S. Department of Education. I don't know if you know how hard that is. I want to give them a round of applause. And it was the largest in the department's history, which was used to refinance existing debt and construct a new 600-bed student residence hall. Enrollment has increased by 5.65% since the fall, over the last couple of years, right? And with the fall 2015 freshman class of 1,482 freshmen, being the university's largest in history. He has 10 new academic programs which have been added. Private funding has increased by 68%, and the university has successfully completed a $20 million capital campaign, and more than 24 memorandums of understanding have been signed with companies, governmental agencies, and universities, including the prestigious Confucius Institute and yours truly, J.F. Drake. Dr. Hugine and his wife, Abigail, of more than 40 years, have an adult son, Andrew Hugine III, and daughter-in-law, Karen, a daughter, Akila Hugine Elmore, and a son-in-law, Quincy Elmore, a grandson, Amir, and a granddaughter, Nyla. At this time, I would like to welcome my friend and the 11th president of Alabama A&M University, Dr. Andrew Hugine.
Not failure, but low aim is sin. Not failure, but low aim is sin. Good evening. To the members of the Board of Trustees, President Lewis, distinguished members of the dais, alumni, administrators, faculty, staff, students, guests, especially the graduates. I bring you greetings from the Board of Trustees, the faculty, the staff, the students, and alumni of Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University. I want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share this time with you. I certainly want to thank the leader of this institution. Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis, for the invitation. And I certainly want to commend you on this, your first graduating class. I also want to commend J.F. Drake on some of your accomplishments, that among the HBCUs in the top 50, you are ranked as one of the most affordable in this nation. You're ranked 12 among the community colleges in Alabama for best colleges. So I certainly want to commend and salute each of you for those accomplishments. I'm especially honored to have the opportunity to formally congratulate the class of 2018. Your graduation today places a new weight of responsibility on your shoulders. You have done it. You've earned that piece of paper. The paper certifies and ratifies, affirms and confirms, guarantees and rubber stamps that you are experts in your field of study. So congratulations to all of the graduates of 2018. While I'm proud of your accomplishments, and I'm here along with all of your relatives to celebrate with you, I also have the responsibility of providing a reality check. The program today is not entitled a culmination exercise. It is entitled a commencement exercise. So far from being the end, today marks the beginning, the commencement of just another step in your road to success. Yes, you have accomplished much, but there is still much to be done as you enter into this globally competitive world that will require that each of you become lifelong learners. Even among those who have jobs, change will become the new reality, adding to the importance of retraining, retooling, lifelong learning. In the United States, for instance, the average person can now expect to change jobs 10 to 15 times. The rapid change is being fueled in large measure by the knowledge explosion. For example, nanotechnology is doubling every 2 years. Clinical knowledge every 18 months. Human knowledge every 13 months. And according to IBM, the build-out of the internet thing will lead to the doubling of knowledge every 12 hours. To remain relevant and current, you must continue to learn. And of course, for those of you that plan to further your education, I would be remiss if I would not invite you to consider Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University. But we have not only had knowledge explosion, there remains to be much to be done to improve humankind. The greatest poem has yet to be written. The cure for cancer has yet to be found. Racism is still alive and well. Children still lack the basic necessities of life. Our educational system is still underfunded. Imagine a world where all of these issues are addressed. As Robert Frost tells each of us, we do have miles to go before we sleep. So as you depart this place, prepare thee to navigate this ever-changing, technologically driven world, I urge you to aim high. Do not set low goals for yourself. Be reminded of the words of the legendary president of Morehouse College that I quoted at the beginning: not failure, but low aim is sin. Eileen Caddy likens a soul without a high aim to a ship without a rudder. You know the rudder of a ship steers that ship to a particular destination. Similarly, aim or goals set us and direct us on the path that we should go. Life without an aim is meaningless. The story is told of a man that was traveling and he stopped at an intersection. He asked the elderly man, "Where does this road take me?" The elderly person asked, "Where do you want to go?" The man replied, "I don't know." The elderly person responded, "Then take any road. What difference does it make?" How true. When we don't know where we are going, any road will take us there. So we need direction. We need goals. Would you sit on a plane or a train and have no idea where you're going? Obviously not. That's the same way it is in life without aim. So let me share with you an acrostic to help us put this idea of an aim in perspective. The first letter in the word aim is A. A tells us that in life we must have a can-do attitude. Attitude is the important element in making and realizing our success. One of the first and foremost things that we must do to transform our lives is to change our attitude. It is often said that there's little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference. That little difference is attitude. The attitude we take determines our success. It is true that your attitude determines your altitude. In the book Adversity Quotient, the author concludes that the secret to success is how you respond in situations of adversity and in times of stress and strain. He said it isn't always your IQ, that is your smartness, your intelligence, that puts you on top. It is your AQ, that is your adversity quotient. He compares life to climbing a mountain. There are three types of people in climbing this mountain. At the bottom of the ladders are the quitters. These are the person that are weak, feeble, they give up when anything happens in life. Those are at the bottom, the quitters. And a little higher on that ladder are the campers. They begin with enthusiasm, but at some point they reach a plateau, they become satisfied, and they stop. And then perched at the top of the ladder are the climbers. These are the persons who live life to the fullest. These are the individuals that overcome challenges. They find deep within them that drive to keep on going. Climbers are persons like Shaq Griffin. That should ring a bell for those of you that keep up with football. Shaq Griffin was one of the persons that was drafted in the NFL. But what is so unique and different about Shaq Griffin is he has only one hand. One hand. But he did not allow that to stop him from achieving. He approached it the same way we have to approach life. I know most of you play the game of spades, and when you're dealt the cards, whatever cards you have, that's what you have to play the game with. You can't throw the cards back in. That is what Griffin did. Even though he was dealt a different hand, he did not allow that to stop him. So the first thing we have to do is to adjust our attitude. Once we have adjusted our attitude, the next letter in AIM is I, invest. We know that if we have a business and that business is going to be successful, then we have to invest in the business. Each of you represent a business, your own success. You must invest in your business. The success or failure of your business is up to you. In an article in money.com about millennial millionaires, Sabatier, one of the persons highlighted, here's what he said in reference to investing in your business, and I quote, "You have to really want it. A lot of people say that they want it, but they really don't. You have to cancel your Netflix subscription and stay off of Instagram and focus on building a business. You have to be willing to spend your extra time learning and pushing yourself. Read business books, listen to podcasts, take free online courses instead of watching Netflix." And here's the main point of his comment, he said, "Focus on investing in yourself and your skills. When you do so, you will slowly see opportunities presenting themselves. Expect trade-offs. Expect to make sacrifices." He went on to say, "I was working 80 to 100 hours a week for a few years in the mid to late 20s, so I missed out a lot of opportunities and time with my friends, but that is what it's going to require." He concludes by agreeing with Theophratus that says, "Time is the most valuable thing that a man can spend, so value your time." Imagine, if you would, that you had a bank, and every morning in that bank you deposited $86,400 in the account for you. And every day it happened over and over again. The only catch, however, is that you cannot save that particular deposit until the next day. The $86,400 that you get in the morning, it's gone in the evening. You can't use any of it in advance, and you can't pile it up. What would you do? How would you spend that $86,400? The thing that I'm referring to is time. We each have 86,400 seconds in a day. We must use that day. You cannot save it up. You cannot borrow from the future. So value your time. Finally, in achieving our aim, it will require M, that we are motivated. That is, pursuing our goals with passion and with the inner strength which you have. You have to believe in your heart of hearts that you can do it. Know that any successful person has failed. You show me an individual that is successful, I will show you an individual who has failed. So draw inspiration and motivation from the lives of people who have demonstrated that failure is not the end, it is just a bend in the road to success. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Alex Haley wrote for 8 long years on his book Roots before it was published. Henry Ford, in his early business, failed 5 times before he was successful creating the Ford Motor Company. Holland Sanders' secret chicken recipe was rejected 1,009 times before it was accepted. Of course, we know that is KFC. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 unsuccessful attempts before he invented the light bulb. Dr. Seuss had his first book rejected 27 different publishers, but he went on to write legendary books such as The Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham. Walt Disney World's Black Panther has collected more than $1 billion at the cinema worldwide, becoming the first blockbuster with a black superhero in the leading role. But it took 52 years, 52 years since Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who created this character, Black Panther, which happened coincidentally the same year that Batman was released, and more than 14 years after the funding before it got to the big screen. The common thread among all of them was their unwillingness to give up, to throw in the towel. Let me close by sharing a personal story with you, and I will be through. When my wife and I moved into our home and we were in South Carolina, I saw this beautiful dogwood tree that I wanted to plant next to the patio. So I went in the woods and I got this dogwood tree. I dug it up and I planted the dogwood tree. And after a while, it appeared that the dogwood tree had died. And I was going to pull that dogwood tree up. At the time, my mother was living and she was with us. And she said, "Son, don't pull up that dogwood tree. Just keep putting some water on the dogwood tree." I didn't think it would make a difference, but she suggested that I continue to water the tree. And I did. And one day, I saw a little branch, a little leaf coming up from that dogwood tree. And it began to grow and grow and grow. And so it became a very beautiful dogwood tree. And I always refer to that dogwood tree as my mother's tree. The lesson there is that in life we have to keep watering our goals and watering our aims. You have applied to a number of universities and you have received rejection letter after rejection letter for your scholarships, but I say to you, continue to water your goals. You have taken that licensure exam over and over again, and you have not been successful. Continue to water your goals. You have been searching for that job. You have submitted resume after resume, and all you have gotten is rejection. Continue to water your goal. You have this wonderful idea about this business that you want to put together, and you've created this business plan. Continue to water your goal. You have this business that you want to get off the ground, and you cannot find funding for it. Continue to water your goal. And if you continue to water your goal, just as that dogwood tree blossomed, so will your goal, so will your aim. So I say to you, continue to water your aim and water your goal, and do so by changing your attitude, investing in yourself, and being motivated to achieve your objectives. Always, class of 2018, aim high. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Hugine, for delivering such a wonderful commencement address to our graduates. Aim high. We certainly appreciate and thank you for being with us on this special occasion. And we would like, if you would join me, we would like to present a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think the cameraman, he's gone, we'll get it. Now, my team gave me some rules to tell y'all. A lot of folks know me just as Chris.